Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Alright, so what we're looking at here is a fairly basic part with our end mill coming in over here, run all the way down, G01 to the end, back, up, finished, right? So let's cover what some of the more standard G codes are, what they do, why we use them. Start off your program with an O number, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple number. I like it. Keep it easy. G00 rapid, G90 is absolute position, G54 work offset, that's this spot right here. G96 is constant surface speed, G95 is feed per rev. It's also all down here for you to see it, in case you think I'm fucking with you. Next line, we're telling it to put a tool in the spindle. M6 is telling the machine to do a tool change. G43, apply tool length compensation. You have to have this line, this G43, in order for it to pull the offset from that page. Next line is M3, M8, and AS value. M3 is to turn on the spindle clockwise direction. M8 turns on your flood coolant. S spindle, in this case, is surface feet per minute. So the machine will do the math for the tool size you have and the surface speed you've commanded, and it will do the math to keep up, hopefully. Our first move on the machine, since we're in rapid up here, our first move is to come in just above the part, behind it. Behind the part to the left and to the top. Then we rapid down to cut height. We do that because we don't want to hit anything like a fixture or on a lathe you might not want to hit a steady rest, so you would come in just above the point you want to be at, drop down, and then start your cut. And that's what I did here. Our next line is G01 with a feed rate of 8 thou per rev. We have a 4 flute end mill. We're taking 2 thou per tooth. We're just skimming the side of it for 8 inches down. And then we are coming back in Y, minus 2.5, minus 2 1/4. I'm a dumbass. We go back a 1/4 inch behind the zero of the part. Then we go up in Y just beyond it. I can make all these straight moves here because I'm still under that G0. G0 or G1, you don't have to turn that off. It'll stay in that mode thinking that's what you want. If you don't want it, you have to tell it to switch out of it. You have to tell it right here. Get out of feed mode, go into rapid, or get out of feed mode, go into a arc mode, or go into a can cycle, something like that. It will stay in the last setting you had it in. So G0, rapid, above the face of the part. M5 is to stop the spindle. M9 turns off the coolant. G49 turns off your tool length compensation. It forgets how long that tool is. It doesn't matter anymore. G53, bleh, fuck me. G53 tells the machine to work off its actual home position. And in this case, I told it go straight up in Z so we can move on to the next step. Next step is to do a tool change to a chamfer mill. Chamfer out these 4 spots. So tool change, tool 2, G43, height 2. These 2 numbers, they match. These 2 here, they match. They have to match. If they don't, then you're doing something backwards and I don't know why. That offset to that tool has to be taught, and you have to make sure to pull the right number you taught. G0, G90, 54, same as up here. Turn on coolant, set spindle speed, run can cycle. I guess I could Move that down. So start can cycle. G81 is a standard drilling cycle. It drills down to depth, rapids up. There is no pecking in this cycle. Next one is G98. We're telling it to return to initial Z plane after the can cycle, once it's done. Our Z depth is 50th thou depth. This is just a spot drill. Our return height is this R. The R is a return plane, not like on a G2 where it's a radius. One of the few differences here. F, feed per rev, 4th thou per rev, slow, steady, just get it done. X 750, Y minus 1250 is our first spot right here. Come in, touch it, move over. Next one, come in, touch it, move over. Next one, touch it. Next one, touch it. Now we get into G80. G80, cancel can cycle. G49, tool length compensation, cancel. G53, go home. Right here. So G80 tells us to stop this mode right here. With it being told to stop, it no longer runs it. 49, forget the tool length. 53, use your home switches. Z0, go home. I don't need to tell it how deep to drill all of these independently because I already did here. This mode tells it I only want to drill that deep and retract to that height. So all I have to do is tell it its positions of where to drill, and it will do it for me at each one. Instead of me having to sit here and type in this G01, feed down nice and steady, wrap it up, move over G01. I don't have to do that. It does it for me. M5, M9, stop the spindle, turn off coolant. M6, tool 3, offset 3. G0, rapid. G90, 54, same as it has been. Move that down. G83 is almost the same as what you see up here. Difference is we have a Q value here. And we don't have a feed. So we have a Q value here. This Q value is your peck distance. This is how far each step I want it to peck. So it's going to peck about 4 times each hole. Go down 200 thousandths, pull out. Go down 200 thousandths, pull out. And it's going to fully retract out of the hole every time to get chips out, get coolant in. On this part, this drill, this part, it is not necessary, but I wanted to put it in here so you can see this G83 and this peck, so you can see the difference. So same points, 3/4, 1 1/4 over here, 1.5 inches in, 6.5 inches in, 7 1/4 inches in, and I don't have to add a Y. Some of you may see that. Might wonder why. It's already at a Y position. It doesn't need me to tell it to stay in that line. All it's going to do is jump the X every time. It won't move Y. Down here again, we see G80, G49, G53, Z0. Stop cycle, forget the tool, go use home switches, go home. In this case, G53 also lets me use the home switches, and I can move the table of my machine in front of my doors. That's what I did here. X20 puts this in front of my doors. Y0 brings it up to me as far as it can. Stop the spindle, turn off coolant. I guess for shits and giggles, I could do this. Maybe make it a little easier, might make it a little faster. Stop spindle, turn off coolant earlier. Over here, stop the program. Program done. M30, we're done. This part is finished. These corners here are still sharp as all hell. So we need to break those corners, round them off a little bit. Do that later. This part's not finished. We got to flip it over. We got to cut it down to like 950 or what is it? 0.930 something or other. We got to face this off a little bit. It's going to be one pass with a face bill. Come in, chamfer the holes in the backside, and then tap them. Not much we're going to get into there. In the meantime, take care. Thanks for watching.
As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.